First met him in the 90s. Yeah, in the 90s. Yeah, so this is really good, though. This is good. Hey, puppy, what you doing, huh? Hey, puppy dog, huh?
His name is Air.
Air?
He's 3 months old.
Oh, you remember? Yeah? Okay.
And this is,
Yeah.
you stand right
This
here.
is the nerve center here of the operation.
Yeah.
The mission
Okay, you stand
control.
right here. You
Okay.
stand right here. I take a picture.
Okay, okay. And this is Don's. This is where he does his thinking.
Yeah, no, he removed his table in the front. Hi, Monica. Hi. You know your dog?
The dog
Yeah,
has to
so
go
bad.
back to the doctor.
He run outside, how to go chase you, your dog.
Oh.
No,
Easy,
no,
easy.
if I
Okay,
chase you,
okay.
he run faster.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, puppy. It's okay. Don't worry.
They like to run out. We have to watch them.
Hey.
Yeah, don't do
Take it
that.
easy.
No
Take it easy.
biting.
Take it
No
easy.
biting.
Good dog. Good dog. Good boy.
Yeah,
Good boy.
she'll nip people.
You know, I
does that.
Good boy. Good
Let
boy.
you know I'm here. Well, okay, go sit
Yeah.
down.
So y'all got a little bit of everything. This is all the Alibaba's cave here. Well, I brought all my bottles. They're all in the car there if you want to see it, but I also wrote it down, everything I'm taking. But I think I've discovered one Achilles heel in the thing, what I'm doing, that you have to use a very high quality beet powder or beet juice. And a vitamin, high quality vitamin.
Okay.
So, yeah, I just would like to know a little bit more of what you're doing here. If you can tell people what's happening. This is Mr. Don Tyson, founder of Montif and the wheeler dealer in the subatomic world of nutraceutical. And the lovely wife here, yes. So, but how are we doing with this project here? You finding any?
Well, I'm trying to find out where we're going with what you've been working on, and I think we're at some point where you've recommended us to a number of people, and we're still waiting to have a response, so that's where we're at. Has Dr. Means ever called you back? No?
No.
That's not good. That's too bad, but she really should call you back. You left a message for her, a phone number and everything for Lindell. Now, what is Lindell's relationship to any of this?
Well, he's an entrepreneur and a big marketing presence on the internet and World Wide Web with the pillows, My Pillow, and he and Donald Trump are very close friends, and he's involved in Trump's election campaign.
Very good.
So but he's got a sales organization that he could just plug this in and run right from day one, and double, triple the sale.
We've got products that are proven. They've been here for anywhere up to as high as 40 some years, and they've been used on, some of the products have been used on over 6 million bottles, 3 million bottles, 1,800 bottles, 18,000 bottles, 180,000 bottles, because there are 44 different formulas, and these formulas fit into the needs for everyday life in people who have different problems. For instance, they might have arthritis, they might have muscle aches and pains, they might have weight loss, they might have weight gain. These products can be used to address the nitrogen balance for the different patients' needs. And so, but that requires that we do work with physicians. We need to work with doctors who have the routine blood analysis, and I'm a medical technologist by background. I used to have my own laboratory, and for years with my other partner, who was a pharmacist. So what we have here is an opportunity to help the doctor make the right decisions and take the right products. And that's key to the whole thing. And, you know, the sale of the company is available. I've been doing this for 45 years, and so I think now it's up to someone who has marketing expertise. The biggest problem is here's the problem. The problem is very simple. Doctors have a unique challenge. They must be detectives to figure out if the patient is accurate. This is important in how the body and how they present their body. Without that, then the doctor has to depend upon examinations, blood analysis, but he still needs the patient's case history, as we call it. Standard blood and urine tests simply can't tell the whole story. That's true. Just like the CEO needs a CFO, doctors need a behind-the-scene technician. And this is what good physicians have in their clinics. They have a lot of good technicians who have different specialties. And these specialties can plug in different people's products, includes ours, of course, but that's where we need to go. So we need to know, what is Montif? Montif has been in business for 45 years. We were the first to deliver to America the first oral amino acid formulation that was based upon 1,000 people's blood assays. And that product has now well above 8 million bottles sold.
And that's called, what is that product?
That's called All Basic Plus. Then there's an All Basic, and that has no tryptophan in it. And the reason for that is because in depression, there may be serotonergic depression, that is tryptophan deficiency, and or there could be catecholamine depression, that is tyrosine, which comes from phenylalanine. So these are the kinds of things that the technical part we have down 100%, and we can immediately help the physician make the right decision on what to give the doctor, nutritionally speaking. So that works.
Okay, and I just want to ask, tell me about how you started. Now, you were analyzing, and you ended up with your own laboratory, Atron Labs, and
Yes.
you were analyzing hair and blood and protein analysis.
Exactly. Well, first of all, when I came out here from the East Coast, I worked at the National Institutes of Health in research and biological research. So I worked for many different physicians. I worked for some world famous physicians, in fact. And some of those folks have passed away, unfortunately. But what happened was, I knew from the beginning that I didn't want to be in any kind of drugs because the side effects were horrendous. And if this didn't work, you took a different drug. If that didn't work, you took a different drug. And by that point, you were injured even more in some cases. So what we had to do here is I had to come back and say, well, my grandmother was Hopi Indian to start with, and my grandpa was a German Jew. So this was interesting that I got this vibration that there's something I'm doing which was not right, and I needed to do something that was natural. And the best natural thing we can have is our foods, our exercise, which is critical, and most people don't do that. Oh, I'll exercise tomorrow. Oh, I'll change my diet tonight. They never do it. And consequently, they end up down in trouble. So what I did in this whole thing is I realized that there was something wrong the way physicians were going. They were depending upon all these drugs. Penicillin was a miracle in and of itself, but at the same time, penicillin is dangerous, but it saves lives. So this was the trade-off. Physicians went by the pharmaceutical area heavily because they thought that was the future for all good health. And unfortunately, it's been proven not to be the case. So this is why I stayed back, and I stayed with the nutritional biochemistry idea. And this is what we have people who are called biochemists who have studied something called the Krebs cycle, which is the cycle of life, and this is the creation from God. So this is what's important about all this, that we're not doing something that's abnormal, but we have to see what is abnormal in the person's blood, urine, and in the clinical analysis of the physical examinations. this is how I came across the idea that, well, I studied 1,000 people's amino acids. This was when I was working for Redken Laboratories in hair and skin research. So I started to see abnormalities in people's hair problems. Not that that was going to be the salvation of all these analyses, but there was a huge amount of differences in the amino acid content of hair. But it should have all been the same. But the hair was wavy, curly, kinky. All of this hair has different features physically. Or chemically, there's almost all the same, but there are differences. So anyway, that's how. So people come in here. We're not really open, and my wife should be over here taking care of this. But anyway, there's nobody else here, is there? So anyway, what I found out was when we started to make my main goal was hair and skin. We started to make formulations to help people with hair and skin problems. And the amino acids were the key turning points along with the vitamins. Later I brought the vitamins out, and people didn't even realize it, that in 1982 and 80, we were still using inactive forms of vitamin B1, B2, and B6. This is not right. So we still have them in the formulas, inactive forms, but they have to be converted by the liver. Well, we sold then the first enterically coated vitamin B1 called pyridoxine. Vitamin B1 is thiamine pyrophosphate. And then the other one was called vitamin B6, which was pyridoxal 5-phosphate. They were phosphorylated. And then B2, B1, and B6. They all have to be phosphorylated. These were not phosphorylated, and still are not phosphorylated in many of people's products, because they have to be enterically coated. That's an expensive process, and it means that you can't mix the vitamins arbitrarily and have them go into water, because when they hit the acid, they'll be destroyed. See, so the phosphorylation is destroyed in natural digestion processes. So then you have to rephosphorylate it back through the liver. So what we did is we made enterically coated vitamin B1, B2, and B6. And later on, we had vitamin B1, B2, and 6 in one tablet, which was enterically coated. It's called Triphos B. And this was a really great breakthrough for us. So that allowed us to make sure that the amino acids and vitamins would be synergistically working together, not missing that. And the other thing that's important is that the enzymes that are needed to make the amino acids drive forward in the reaction to make your health return to normal could be carried out properly. Now, the biggest area where there's defects, it's called amino acidemias and durias. This is where the enzymes are still genetically defective. And so these type of folks are unfortunately mentally retarded folks. They're physically deformed and mentally retarded, or both, one or the other. So that's a very difficult area to work in. I am not working in that area. That is not for us to work in. We are working on keeping people healthy where we can possibly do that. And unfortunately, the foods are adulterated. They're not like they used to be. And all of that, along with that's why vitamin supplements and mineral supplements and amino acid supplements are critically important, because they take up the slack that has been missing in the natural foods that have been ruined in the fertilization, the synthetic fertilization of our soil, which has ruined the microbe functions and everything, and made even other microbe functions become available.
Can we come in?
Yeah, close the door.
Oh, hi, sorry.
Yeah, I'm in a meeting here, but you can cross over. My wife will help you. Yeah, just come
No, we like
over.
dogs. We're not afraid of the dogs. All right. Hi, we're good dogs.
That one is 8 weeks old and the other one's 8 months old.